Hello, welcome back. My name is Jennifer. So glad you are here. Today we're going to see how I created this look. I did some research, you guys, and we're recreating a 50s style makeup recreation, kind of my take on it. It may not be 100% accurate, but as accurate as I can get it myself. Of course, you know, I did not live in the 50s or anything, but I did do a lot of research and trying to see what they used, what was kind of some of their techniques and what brands and all the things. Now I'll just be using what's out of my own collection here, as I just wanted to kind of do a take on it and really do my best to try to recreate a look from the 50s. So there's so many things that happened in the 50s, but makeup was really starting to come into its own in the 50s. A great resource that I did use was Glamour Days. It's a great blog taking you through different eras and different decades of makeup and style and all the things related to the evolution of how we've gotten here today, which is really just so intriguing. I just love learning about it. By all means, we've come a long way from a society in different viewpoints and things like that, and that's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about the makeup and the hair and maybe some fashion. I mean, I don't know. I did my best on that part, but really the makeup and the hair. So today we're going to go and I'm going to show you how I pin curled my hair. Y'all, I'm not very good at this. And I'm going to show you how I got this makeup look. So that is what we're going to do today. I hope that you like this style of video. It's very different. I mean, quite different than what I'm used to doing. I'm used to doing reviews and things like that on luxury beauty, as well as like talking about favorites, which I love and I still want to do. But I thought that this might be like a fun little series or something that I could do. Maybe I could do a different decade next time or something like that if you guys really enjoyed this. So let me know in the comments below how you love the video. Also, let me know if there's a different decade or a different style or time period or something like that you would love to see. I enjoy the history of it and I'd love to share that with you guys here. So without further ado, let's go into the hair. Now, with the hair, y'all, I'm pin rolling my hair. Now, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about this, and it's a lot harder than it looks. A lot harder than it looks. And my hair is in layers somewhat, so for me, it was really hard to get those pin curls up and stay. But I tried my best, and I feel like as I pin them and I put this balm in them, kind of like a styling wax, as well as re-wet my hair and try to get it up and down. It was a little hot mess. So I missed some spots, but I did my best to try. And really, it came out okay. Now, I did this in the morning and then I did diffuse my hair to dry the curls. I think if I had waited to, most people sleep in them overnight and then they're fully dry and then they take them down in the morning and then brush out their hair. When I brushed out my hair, it was a lot different than I'm used to. It really was. It was a lot different and it wasn't something that I necessarily knew what I was doing or anything like that, but it was fun to try to style it. I used a lot of hairspray, like a lot of hairspray. A lot of hairspray, but I ended up going back over it with a curling iron to get the final look, just to kind of get a more defined wave, because in the curl I feel like maybe the pin curls weren't tight enough, or I don't know. I'm going to try it again though, because it was really cool. It was a cool method and it was kind of neat. It's called a wet styling method, and yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. It was fun. So this was something that they did back in the day. They would sleep in these pin curls, and they do this like, I don't think they do their hair every night doing this. There's no way. I don't think so. I think they did it like a couple times a week or whatnot, but oh my goodness. Y'all, can you imagine doing that to your hair every single night or something? I mean, I guess you get really good at it. Anywho's, let's get into the makeup. Alright, y'all, let's get into the makeup look. I put my hair back because I don't want it in my face while I am doing my makeup. I did moisturize very well, not with Pond's, although they wore a ton of Pond's. Like, they used it to wipe off their makeup, moisturize, kind of cleanse their face. Quite interesting, right? I don't know. I'm like so curious if that really would work. I assume it does, but hey, you know, I've been thinking about doing this video for a long time, and I've been doing a lot of different research and trying to figure out. I just wanted to do it right? And as we start, I'll begin to do my brows or whatnot. But I just wanted to do it the right way. I wanted to represent it as best as I could, just in my own way, right? Will this be perfect? Probably not. But I just really wanted to try to replicate maybe a 50s look or that era and what they deemed beauty to be at the time. But it's just such a cool time from a makeup perspective. I felt like when doing research on it, it was kind of coming about, right? And during the 30s, 40s, 50s, it was just such a neat, like, evolution of makeup in general and hair and fashion, and it's just really cool. Makeup in the 50s was very well known for the high eyebrow arch and a very kind of smile with the eyebrow. I was watching some old footage and they're teaching how to, you know, match your foundation to your matching your foundation to your neck and things like that. It was just a really neat time. Audrey Hepburn is a great inspiration, but she had more like brows that were straight across, whereas Grace Kelly, she had more of the thicker eyebrow look. And I kind of like the thicker eyebrow look. It's kind of cool. So cream makeup really started to come into its own in the 1950s. And with that being said, I'm going to use a Westman Atelier stick. This is in the shade 6. So this is a cream foundation, and I am just going to put it on like this and then use a brush to buff it in. And they use brushes or sponges, things like that. And as I was, you know, doing a little bit more research, it's so fun to see like the makeup that they did use and how they did shade match and all that. Like we were talking before, it's just so interesting to me. All right, let's blend in. Pink hues and shadows were really prominent in the 50s, as well as kind of that pinky reddy lipstick. I am going to go ahead and powder my face though. Powder was big in the 50s, guys. So we are going to use this Kogan Dough powder. I did receive this as a gift, and I am actually going to use the puff that came with it because I feel like it's more like realistic, right? So I'm going to powder, guys. I don't usually powder a lot, but I'm going to powder this time. And here we go. All right, we are powdered there, and I am going to take a different powder to just highlight a little bit under the eyes. I am taking the Prism Libre powder by Givenchy and taking that under the eye here. Almost like a baking effect, but not really, kind of thing. So before we do eyes and before we do kind of our lips and things like that, what I'm going to do now is use a blush, but I'm going to use 2 different blushes. And before I even use the blush, I'm going to highlight under the eyes. Now, I was watching something and I cannot remember what, but they were saying that a lot of times women and like artists in the industry would use highlighter right here to bring out this area and to really make it brighter, which totally makes sense. And when I was trying this look, I totally loved So let's do it. So the blushes that I'm using today are from Suqqu. One of them just came out. This is Suqqu 126, and this is Suqqu 124. So just to kind of give you an idea of the shades that I'm using, because you can use similar shades, it doesn't have to be the same one. I am going to use more of a buffing brush for this because I want it to be buffed into the skin. And I'm going in with this kind of creamy highlighter shade here. And I'm putting this under the eyes. And I'm just going to get it and put it right here. It sounds like, oh, what? Like at first I was thinking, why don't I do that every day? But I just never really, and this is a powder that is a highlighter, yet it's really subtle, so it's not like accentuating my pores or anything either, which makes it a lot easier to use. And if you can see that, I'm also going to use this highlighter shade from 125, the Suqqu blush. And I'm just going in that and also going right there and going right there. Can you see how it brings kind of my face a little brighter? It will all start to make sense once we start putting more on. So I am using this blush and I'm going to put it right here. Now, makeup and blush or rouge was worn high up on the cheeks like this in pinks. So that's why I'm mixing these two pinks. Pinks were just all the things in the 50s. Now pinks and reds, of course, but pink was also such a pretty shade to use and well loved. And higher on the cheeks here. Because pretty much everything I saw was like blend, blend, blend. And then also, they say, one second, they say if you get a little too much, just pat. Eyes were really important in the 50s. A kind of white base was often used in many of the photos that I saw. For example, if you see a lot of the makeup looks from some of the most prominent women of that era, you see that their eyes are very almost covered in a base that is very neutral. It's more neutral type eye looks. But they're covered in a more neutral base, yet it makes their eyes just pop. And it's such a cool thing. I really loved being able to just see, okay, so what is the best eye look to represent this era? And I felt like with Grace Kelly, she did it so well. She had kind of just a small smoky line a lot of times on her lower, like right here. And mascara, but just a pretty pinky red lip. And I think that's what we're going to do here today. See, it's interesting because I read where there's there's a lot of steps in makeup involved, yet their makeup looked very natural and almost effortless, yet you knew it wasn't, right? I mean, when I did my hair, it took me forever. I'm like, oh my gosh, people did this every single night, like pin rolling their hair, and it's just wild. It's so cool to I don't know, it's just really neat to be able to study the history of it all and how it kind of evolved over time. So I'm just using the Makeup by Mario kit. It's the eye primer kit. And I'm going to set this eye base and then I'll be right back. So I felt like it was appropriate to use more mattes with this look. And I think we're going to use something like a gray, almost like this shade here. This is the Viseart Grande Pro palette, and it's just great for stuff like this. And then, but first I'm going to take the white and go kind of all over the lid to make sure that I have a good base, because I really want my eyes to be what you're looking at here. So we're going to take that gray shade here and really just put it along the lash line. Now you can do this with an eyeliner, you can do this with a shadow like I'm doing as well, or a stick, shadow stick. But this is kind of what I wanted to do here, and just really just smudge it out and along the base of the lashes, and that's all I'm going to do for eyeshadow. Small little wing on the side, so nothing too prominent, but just something small. Alright, from some of the research that I did do, it says that lashes were subtle and usually just apply to the top lash line. But when you look at some of these pictures, these ladies' eyelashes were not subtle from the ones that I looked at, and I just felt that was quite interesting. Sometimes they did carve out the cheekbones a little bit, kind of interesting, right? So I'm just going to use this shade here and kind of go right here under the cheekbone just to contour just a bit. I never contour, you guys, so I don't know if this is really helping. I kind of have bigger cheeks, so for me it's a little bit more difficult to do, but we're going to see how that works. And then maybe right here on the nose, maybe I need a smaller brush. Okay, it's all good. Right here on the nose, right here, and then here and here. So they would contour the nose some as well, from what I saw. So interesting, right? How some women wanted their noses to be smaller, like they wanted their nose to be smaller, so they would make kind of more of a contoured effect. Now I'm going to blend this in. All right, use just a little powder to blend all that together. I think we're okay. I think we're looking good. Now, next up, I think we are ready for lips. Now, with lips, there was a very popular shade from Revlon called Fire and Ice, and I actually have that in a brand new formula that they have. It's their Shine formula, the Revlon Super Luscious Lip Shines. They sent this to me, but I thought we could use this today. Beforehand though, they did line their lips. So we can use something that's a little bit more, kind of a little bit more red, because red was such a prominent color and just, it was used a lot. I picked up the wrong shade initially. I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown lip pencil in red. This lip liner is such a great shade and very prominent and very apropos for the 50s, I feel like. All right, let's go ahead and try on the Fire and Ice. Now, it's more of a shine lipstick. They did have a little bit of shine to their lips. Now, the 50s was when the first non-transfer lipstick came out. Kind of cool, right? So, just adding this. On top. So, let me go ahead and do my hair, fix it up for you guys, and we'll see the final product. I hope this is very 50s. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Let's do it. Alright, y'all, this is the final look. I hope that y'all liked seeing kind of this transformation back into, oh my goodness, like 70 years ago, you guys. 60 to 70 years ago, y'all. This decade was such an interesting decade to research and really look into. I enjoyed this immensely. I know it's a little different style of video for me, a little different, but I thought it'd be fun to do. This is just my retake on the 50s and their style and hair and makeup, but you know, I did some research and I did my best, and I am really excited about how it came out. I'm just thrilled. I actually love the idea of putting the highlighter under the eyes. My makeup feels very flawless. I really like my hair like this. I know that's like, I don't know, just something about this is just so cool. I love the way my hair looks. I feel like I look very elegant, and that's really the essence of the 50s in a lot of ways. Elegance and just class, and oh, just so beautiful. And I hope that I channeled that today, and that was really what I wanted to do, is just do my best take on the 50s and kind of what the 50s were from an, you know, maybe like a Grace Kelly look, or even, you know, it's not really Audrey Hepburn, but you know, those types of looks. I just feel like they're just classics and timeless, and that's really what I wanted to try to recreate. So I hope that, of course, please let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think I did it justice? That's all I ask, is that I tried to do it a little bit of justice. So let me know what your thoughts are on these style videos down in the comments below. That would be so fun to do others as well, but I just love to know. So let me know, and I really appreciate you guys being here. If you're new, I'd love for you to subscribe. Love to have you here. We talk a lot about luxury beauty, and we just would love to have you. Again, my name is Jennifer. Thank you so much for being here. I'll leave my latest video right here, and I'll see you over there. Bye, y'all.